Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Nonirita. I want to appreciate everyone that subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate all the messages, all the well wishes, the love that you guys have shown me so far. I really do appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. Yes, and please, if you're watching me for the first time, kindly subscribe to my channel. Do you understand? I do sewing tutorials and then family vlogs. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified anytime I post videos. Yes. So today's tutorial will be treating how to take body measurement for a female, accurate body measurement. So stay tuned and learn. When taking measurements, like a female body measurement, what you just need is your tape rule, measurement tape rule. And working on the inches level, that's this side. You will be working with the centimeters. Here in Nigeria, we're used to, here in Nigeria and Africa, we're used to the inches rather than the centimeters. So we're working with the inches. So before we start, we have to understand that the body is divided into two parts. We have the upper body and then we have the lower body. The upper body starts from the neck down to the waist. The lower body is from the hips right down to the feet. So the first thing you need to consider before you start taking the measurements is that the measurements that we take vertically, that is more like a vertical line like this, and there's another measurement that we take horizontally, that's like this. So having said that and having understood that, we're going to go ahead with taking measurements. So the first measurement we're going to begin with is the neck measurement. Now when you want to take neck measurements, that's round the neck. When I mean neck, I mean round the neck. Maybe you want to make outfits like turtleneck, just like this one, or something that you know that you need to have some fitting around the neck. So you just take it round like this. You just take it round. Not too tight, not too loose, just something convenient that you know that someone can wear without feeling choked up or something like that. Yes. And then the second measurement we're going to take is the round the bust. Now the measurements we're taking now are horizontal measurements. We're not taking vertical measurements yet. So the round the bust. Now when you want to take a round the bust measurement, the tape has to be on the fullest part of the bust. It shouldn't be on top of the bust or underneath the bust. It has to be on the fullest part of your bust, which happens to be, here we have it. Now from there we proceed to the next measurement, which is the under bust measurement. Now the under bust measurement, the under bust is the place directly after your bust line, like that curve. This place that the curve starts. Place my waist measurement, my tape on the client's round body measurements, round waist measurements. So, but the best way for you to be able to get the waist measurement is for you to tell the client or the person to tilt a bit. This is what I mean by tilting. You tell the person to bend a bit like this. And when the person bends like this, that part of the waist or of the stomach that goes in is exactly where your tape is going to be placed. So if you're having a problem finding where the person's going, because some people, some women have different body sizes, so some people can just be can be bulgy around this belly area, right from here to here. So it's not everybody has that outlined curve showing here. So the best way for you to determine that, if you're having difficulty getting that, is to ask that person to tilt a bit. Now, if you look at me tilting, you can visibly see that this part of my, my waist went in. Now, that is exactly where my tape is going to be placed. That is where I'm going to be able to determine, what my waist measurement is. So around my waist measurement here is 26 here. Then we move to the hips measurements. The hips measurement, round the hips. So when you're coming here, you go to the fullest part of the hips measurement, the fullest part. The fullest part. That side, that place where the hips is more outlined. That is where you're going to take your hips measurement. So when you place your tape, the fullest part of the buttocks of the bum, that's where you're going to take your hips measurement. Yes, so then proceeding to the laps, you won't take laps measurement. Laps measurement, just put your tape round the lap. That's the fullest part of the laps. Is where you get your measurement from, just directly beneath the hips. That's where you get your lap measurement from. Then we also have round the knee. You have round the knee measurements. But when you want to take round the knee measurements, your tape is going to be directly on the knee, but you're going to ask the person to tilt her knees or his knees a little bit, so that if you're making something like a trouser, that person can be able to, have some kind of flexibility in that trouser that you're making for the person. We also have round the ankle too. The same thing applies to that too. We take round the ankle. Maybe we'll come back to that when we're doing maybe measurements for a trouser. We are going to go into that more. So then that is it for the front measurement. Now, so let's go to taking the back measurements. So this is the back of my mannequin, and me wanting to take this measurements now. The first thing I have to do here, that's to take the shoulder measurement. I'll place my tape on the shoulder from here to here. Now, to be able to determine the shoulder measurements, sometimes it's difficult because we are ladies. We don't really take our measurement. Women take measurement. Men, if you watch maybe a male stylist trying to take a male's measurement, or someone that makes clothes for men, you see that they just take the tape from this end to this end. But it's not like that for females, because our clothes don't actually get to this place. Yes, the sleeve of our dress don't begin from here. It actually starts from somewhere here. So when you want to take your measurement, shoulder measurement for a lady, all you need to do is to place your tape from this bone. There is a bone here. There's a bone here, from here to here. Now you place that bone, you have to use your hand, your fingers to locate the bone. So let's assume that this mannequin's bone is somewhere here. We place it from here to here. That is how you get your shoulder measurement. But in cases where it is not really visible, because people that are quite on the big side, because they are more fleshy and every other thing, the bone is not really so visible. So how we get shoulder measurement for such persons is that you ask them to raise their hand a bit up like this. Just take their hands up like this. Now when they do that, when they raise their hand up like this, there is going to be some form of demarcation here, like a hole, more like a ridge here. Now from that hole, to the next hole, that will give you a perfect shoulder measurement. Yes. Then the next, we're going to talk about the what's it called, the round, the waist here. Okay, it's the same. It goes as the same thing for the front. So that's all for the back. So now that's all for our horizontal measurements for now. So now I'm moving to the vertical measurement. The vertical measurement, a measurement that we take with our tape straight like this. So the first vertical measurement we're going to take in here is from your shoulder to your upper bust. Shoulder to your upper bust is from here to anywhere around on top of the bust. Now there's some outfits you need to make that has yoke. Now this shoulder to upper bust will help you determine where exactly your yoke is going to begin from. If you don't want it to be too deep or you don't want it to be too high, you will need to take from your shoulder to your upper bust. It's usually 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on what is your preference. So that's the next thing. We're going to take it from shoulder to nipple. Now this measurement is very important for when you're making bustier outfits, corset outfits, and the rest of them. You will need to take from your shoulder to your nipple measurement. Yeah, that helps you to be able to trace out the curve from your bustier outfit. So this is it. From shoulder to the nipple. Here we have 10 inches. Yes. So the next we're taking is from our shoulder to on the bust. Now your tape. Sorry, I omitted something. When you want to take your vertical measurement like this, your tape has to be on the nape of your neck here. here. This is your nape of your neck here. This is where your tape is going to be, on the nape of your neck, down to wherever it is you want to take. And there's some things to consider even before you start. The most important thing is that whoever it is that you're taking your measurement has to know, that's being the know that he or she doesn't have to look down. Yeah, the moment you look down when taking a measurement, it alters your right measurement, your accurate measurement. Yes. When the person looks down, because most people that are not used to that, when you're taking a measurement, they like to look to be sure that you're getting probably what you're supposed to get or whatever. But you have to make them understand that they don't have to look down, because the moment you look down, it alters that measurement by maybe an inch or 1.5 or even 2 inches if care is not taken. So take note of that. The person has to be looking straight, not looking up, but looking straight till you are done with the measurement. That is one thing with vertical measurement, because any mistake you make there alters the height of the clothes, like where the bust is supposed to be, where the waist is supposed to be, the hips, and the length of the dress or the outfit. So from here we take, so this is our nape. Nape is here, not here. Nape is at the tip of your neck. So this is where we're starting from, the nape. From shoulder to your nipple. Shoulder to waist measurement in front is quite different from what we have for the back. Yes, the reason is because the front has the bust, the back doesn't have any bust there. So, but most people make the mistake of using the same measurement for the shoulder to waist measurement for the front, they still use it for the back. That's why after making some outfits, you see some outfit that has this bulge behind the dress. They have this folding, zip folding. It is actually from the measurement taken. Yes. So that is why I tied this tape on the waist. When I want to take measurements of a client or anybody I'm making a dress for, I always tie this at the waist. This helps me to determine the exact spot in which I took the waist measurement and go to the back and place my tape on that same measurement. And then you will see the difference. So let's do that here. Now from here, shoulder to waist here, we have 18 inches. Do you understand? We have 18 inches. Now let's go for the back. From shoulder to waist here, look at it. What we have here is 13 inches. Can you see the difference? Here is 13 inches. But in front, what we have is 18 inches. But in the front here, okay, let's just call it 17.5. So you see that there's a difference of, the difference of 4 inches. So if I'm to use the same measurement I used to cut the front to cut the back, then you know that that excess is what's going to form that bulge at the back, and doesn't always look good on any outfit, no matter how beautiful that outfit is. When the person turns her back, it spoils the outfit. So let's take note of that. Now, going back to our measurement, the next measurement is from your shoulder to your length of top, length of shirt, length of blouse. These measurements are applicable to, when you're making an outfit that should stop here, maybe a top, a shirt, a peplum top, or something that that should stop, that it will be worn with something else under it. So we have from here to here. This particular measurement is based on preference. It says that you ask the person, where do you want this clothes to stop? And the person will show you, and you take that measurement. So we can go from here to, I can make it 23 here. This measurement stops mostly before the hip line, like before the hips, before you even get to the hip line. So you can go from 23, 24, 25, 26, no matter what the person wants. And after that, the next measurement we have is from the shoulder to the knee, or to the knee. What we have here is for the one. Now when you want to take shoulder to knee measurements, mostly for outfit that you're going to join, you join something underneath, maybe like a fish gown or something that has a flare. Yes, when you get to your knee, you go up by 2 inches. Yes, you don't stop the outfit directly, unless if it's a gown that you want on its own, with trouser or a shorts rather, or a play suit. then that will not matter. But if it's something that has to do with you have to join something down there, maybe to get a flake dress, a fish dress, or anything like that, then you will have to stop. When you get to your knee, your exact knee measurements. Here I have 42, then I go up by 2 inches. That's 40 inches. Now when you do that, you get your accurate before the knee measurement. Because whatever it is you're joining cannot start on the knee. If not, that person will not be able to walk. It starts directly on top of the knee. Okay, so that's it. Now the next measurement we're taking is from the shoulder to the ground, to the floor, or to the ankle, depending on how the person. Some people like their outfits to flow to the ground, while some will prefer it stops on at the ankle level. So that's where it's going to. That's what the next. That is where. That's the next measurement from the shoulder to the ankle or to the floor. Yes. So that's it for now. Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate. Please, if you've not subscribed, please hit on the subscribe button and then turn on your notifications so that when I post another video, you will be the first to get notified. And I appreciate those of us that have subscribed to my channel. And I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for encouraging me on this journey I chose to start. Thank you very much. See you guys in my next video. Love you all.